I've been making platinum based content for about 8 months now. I started with 7 platinum trophies to my name, which took me about 7 years to obtain. A nice 1 platinum per year average. Sick. But as of this video, we're now up to 55, which if I may toot my own horn is a pretty solid jump in less than a year, even if a 30-day challenge is a big reason I made such a jump. But the channel has doubled in size since I reignited this love for achievement and trophy hunting, and because of that I do find the same few questions coming up from new viewers, either asking for a video on a game I've already platinumed, or simply wondering what some of my favourite platinum trophies have been, and which ones I recommend. So I figured, why don't I quickly go over my platinum collection and my journey up to this point, and then I'll go over my top 10 favourite platinums from my collection so far. So yeah, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave it a like, comment below your own top 10 platinums, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and let's get into this. But first, before we get balls deep into these platinums, let's talk about the sponsor for today's video, Atlas VPN. You need a VPN in today's day and age. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't want to hear any excuses. And with Atlas VPN, it's so easy to set up. With a single click on any of your devices, you can be anywhere in the world and no one's the wiser, keeping all your precious data protected and encrypted from the creeps of the web. Right now, Atlas VPN has a huge discount where you can grab a 3-year subscription and an extra 3 months on top of that for just $1.83 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee using my link in the description. Personally, whilst I love that I'm protected online, that's really just a bonus feature, as with Atlas, what I love most is to shop around online and make sure I'm getting the best price possible. Conversion rates aren't always accurate, and with a single click, instead of being down under, I'm in the States going through Steam to find myself some extra discounts. With a single Atlas VPN subscription, you can protect all your devices, unlock content all over the globe, save some money, and stop ads and malware. Once again, you can get the best VPN on the market for 3 years and 3 extra months for just $1.83 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee using my link in the description. Time is running out, so grab this awesome deal now before it's gone. Thank you to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. Alright, so this is my PlayStation account. I started this in, I think January 2015 when I got my PS4, which actually coincided in my original PlayStation account getting destroyed, basically. Apparently, if you forget an email password and don't use that email for long enough, they'll just remove that, which is kind of annoying because I had a lot of really, in hindsight, platinums that I was really proud of and would have looked really cool. But nevertheless, it kind of coincided with me losing interest in trophy and achievement hunting anyway. But you know, it still would have been cool. But you'll kind of see, at least at the start, it kind of there's a lot of games on here, and I barely did anything in them because I would play them and be like, oh, I'm gonna get the platinum again, or I'm gonna get all the trophies or whatever, and I just gave up like almost instantly. Apparently, that's what it looks like to me. But let's get stuck into this. And really, realistically, if you've been with the channel since the 30-day platinum video, there's really only like seven platinums you don't know about. Maybe a couple more, but yeah, not too many. But as you'll see, you know, nothing. Big old nothing burger for a while until we get to our first platinum, which I thought was a little closer than it is. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. But yeah, we have Rocket League. Rocket League was my first platinum trophy on this account. Unlocked it in October 2015. Just a really straightforward platinum, like just play the game enough and you'll get it. So that's kind of why I had a lot of these platinums. Like, they either came naturally or they didn't involve too much, you know, they're not difficult platinums. And as you'll see, I actually stuck with this, like getting all the trophies with this game for a while, until I kind of just gave up. And I was like, this is too much. I'm not playing this game forever. I did go on to play it a lot, but not, you know, I wasn't interested in doing all like the specific stuff. I will go over as well some games I'm close to that might impact if I do a video on them or not. Like some of them, like Assassin's Creed 2 I'd like to do, but I you know, I've almost done all the trophies, so it's like not gonna, you know, I'd rather do that in my free time and save the platinum videos for really, you know, exciting ones. But the second one we got, of course, if you're a fan of the channel, you probably know I'm obsessed with this. 2017, I got Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Now, I was obsessed with this game when I finally played it in. This was the first game I got for my PS4, and I couldn't get enough of it. The weird thing is, I basically got all the trophies in 2015, and then finally was like, you know what, 2017, I need to get this platinum, and that's when I ended up getting it. So it was a 2-year gap in between platinums, and not that many games were getting played, apparently. So I must have been a bit more on my Xbox One at this stage, because I kind of would alternate. I'll be really into PlayStation, and then I'll be really into my Xbox, and then I'll be really into playing on my computer. It kind of just ebbs and flows. And I got really close to Hardline as well. I don't think I can get this anymore. Yeah, because I feel like I had to be a certain level with certain operators, and yeah. So I kind of, that one's gonna annoy me, because it looks like I haven't done that much, but I only have one trophy left to get the platinum. It's one of those things. Then we got Watch Dogs 2, which is one of the more highly suggested games. Not even just Watch Dogs in general, just Watch Dogs 2 specifically. And, you know, I got this one back at, back pretty close. I thought I got a bit closer to when it released, but clearly not. But yeah, really good game. Not my favorite, but at this stage I wasn't trophy hunting, so to have a platinum trophy, it kind of, for me, it says a bit that I was really enjoying it. The Order 1886 is a game I love, honestly. Like, not for full price. For full price, I think that yeah, big no. But for like 10 to 20 bucks, I think it was really, it's a game I really enjoy. The platinum is really easy as well. South Park: The Fractured Butthole, another highly suggested game. I just have the one trophy for that, so I could probably do a video on it because it is a whole playthrough, but I don't know about that. I don't think it's difficult enough to be like, oh, this video is just one trophy to get the platinum. But what was it? What was our last platinum trophy? Was back in 2017, and then we jump all the way to 2020. The big pandemic. And I think I actually got this as, like, you hear the whispers, you know? There was whispers happening around this time. And I needed like a childhood classic, and that's what this was. This one was, a really natural platinum to get. Unlike Jak 2 and 3, which has a bit more fluff, but I'll get these, eventually. So I'll do those, in the background, so expect those. Maybe if I do an update at some point, they'll be there. Then we got 2 in 2020, which I think I always enjoyed getting a platinum trophy or getting all achievements. I wasn't seeking, that's not how I had to play the games. But Ghost of Tsushima, I just couldn't stop playing. I loved this game. Seriously, one of my favorite games of all time. It was phenomenal. And then we have a pretty big break from here. I think this was the last one we got until 2022, which is when the big change happened, I'll say. But we definitely made we were getting close with a couple, like God of War. Most of the God of War games, I'm really close to getting the platinums. But yeah, in 2022, I got Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, and that was kind of the big catalyst for this whole change. And the channel took a direction at this point last year, when I got this platinum, I did not expect to say in a year that the channel is just completely different, but here we are. Oh yeah, and I should say as well, Miles Morales doesn't have the platinum because honestly, I didn't enjoy it as much. Especially, I don't like when games make you do New Game Plus. I don't mind if there's like a challenge or something, but I didn't have as much want to platinum this one, but I'd like to maybe go back before and do that in my own time before Spider-Man 2 comes out. And then from here, the 30-day challenge began, and there's some platinums in here that, most of the platinums in here, I'm really happy I got. There's only really a couple, which I guess I'll point out that, everybody's gone to the wrap capture. It's a platinum I didn't enjoy going for. Goosebumps is kind of just like a stupid platinum, and then, you know, there's a couple in here, like Insomnus was really quick. I think I did that in less than an hour. And then, you know, Chicken Cart 2, Tale of Paper. Like some of them were good games, they just weren't. You know, the platinum doesn't mean anything. I definitely think I ended the challenge strong with, like, what, the last 5 games. I think are decent games for that sort of challenge. So if we do a part 2, we'll do more stuff like that. Maybe not auto pop a platinum as well, which pissed off a lot of people. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I am just 1 trophy off. I just got to complete every mission without dying, which isn't really that bad. I think I started going for this again after the 30 platinum challenge, and I was just like, oh, I need a longer break than what I gave myself ultimately. My name is Mayor. Yes, I'm ashamed. Leave me alone. And then basically from this point, it was all, you know, there's all videos on these. So if you see there's a game I've platinumed and you're like, oh, you know, the platinum playlist is there, you can give all of these a watch now. But I will, you know, I'll talk about the games that, you know, I don't have a video on, which one, Save Room. Really easy platinum. Okay, I'm not going to say it's not, but really fun game. Really fun puzzle game that you don't need a guide for, okay? I see there's some missable stuff, but not that bad. And The Last of Us Part 1, I think, is the last one that I haven't made a video on. And the reason is, I was going to at the time, but it was the first example of platinuming a game, and I just couldn't figure out how to make it interesting. I think for me, it's just too many collectibles. It's not really an interesting platinum. It's a phenomenal game. Like, I love The Last of Us, but it's just, the platinum journey is just weak. And then, yeah, you know, the wheel started here, which was, you know, I didn't expect that to blow up as big as it did. And you basically know the rest from this point. I'll go a little slower if you are new. But yeah, a lot of fun platinums along this journey. So in like a year, we've gotten 48 platinums. So I honestly didn't expect to still be enjoying platinuming as much as I thought. It was kind of like a cool thing, but I'd eventually, you know, get sick of it. But with the wheel being kind of forcing me to do some of these games and having so much great variety, I think that's really helped. And I just enjoy making the videos, and I think that's what really is keeping me engaged with doing all of this. But yeah, that's the 55. I think it's about time now I get to my top 10 favorites, and you guys kind of get to know a bit more about what I enjoy looking for in my platinum trophies. Okay, so now you all know what platinums I have. Now I think it's time to dive into my top 10 favorites out of the 55. The games I absolutely recommend you platinum yourself. 10 was a difficult number to narrow down, so I will give some honorable mentions towards the end. And also, fair warning, The Last of Us Part 1 is not in my top 10. The game is incredible and still one of my absolute favorite games, but the platinum is too collectible reliant, which I'm not a big fan of. Starting off with number 10 is actually the first platinum I achieved on this account, and that is Rocket League. Rocket League is a game now I do have a very love-hate relationship with, but I have played it so damn much since its release back in 2015 on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, respectively. I was obsessed with the game almost instantly. I still remember one of the first nights after release when my wife was working at a local bakery. She'd gone to bed at around 9, and I was playing Rocket League. And she woke up at 5:30 to get ready for her shift, and there I was still playing. I couldn't get enough of the game, and even though at this point I'd definitely fallen out of that trophy and achievement hunting obsession, I just remember this being a very natural platinum to obtain. Really, the only time-consuming trophy I can recall would be Stocked for collecting 150 items, but again, I love this game, so I can't say I wasn't happy to have an excuse to play for as long as possible. I may not be quite so infatuated with the game anymore, but definitely glad I grabbed this one back in 2015. Next off at number 9 is a game we've covered here on the channel, which is the case for a few of these, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I've already made 2 videos on Fallen Order, one diving into my thoughts on the game itself, and another one on the platinum journey, so to avoid repeating myself, I'm just going to keep this one brief. Fallen Order is my favourite Star Wars game to date, and the Platinum Journey is mostly just a phenomenal experience. Outside of Zepho and Kashyyyk's 100% requirements, I don't really have a bad thing to say. It's a game I loved playing through the first time, and the second time to get the Platinum was even better. If the map system was better presented and had fast traveling from meditation points, this would be a lot higher on the list. Still, the top 10 is pretty good, and I was stoked when I finally grabbed this platinum earlier this year. Number 8 is actually one of the reasons I wanted to grab a PS5 so badly. As such a huge fan of this series, I needed to play this game, and that is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. This is one of the platinums I did for my 30-day challenge, which sort of gives you an idea of how friendly the platinum requirements are for the game. The game itself is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think I got this platinum in a single 12-hour sitting, which I rarely do, but I was so damn invested from the get-go. The story, the gameplay, the worlds, the guns, it all just feels so true to what makes this series great, and brings you right back to being a kid again. It's definitely the easiest game in the series to platinum, taking about 15 hours without a guide, 10 with one, and whilst it's not a platinum I'm going to covet per se, I'm definitely happy I have this one in my collection because the game is astoundingly good. At number 7, we have one of the more highly suggested games for me to cover on the channel, but I already did it back in 2020, and that is one of my childhood favorites, Jak and Daxter, the precursor Legacy. Jak and Daxter is just pure nostalgia for me. It's one of my absolute favorite series from the PS2, with the original being my personal favorite. The story, platforming, exploration, collectathon elements, it's all something that truly makes me want to 100% the game each time I play it, even before trophies got involved, which is why the platinum came so naturally for me when replaying the game during the pandemic. Really, the only trophy that had me chasing my tail a little bit was collecting all 2,000 precursor orbs, and even that wasn't too bad a task given you need to explore the worlds fully anyway to get the power cells and scout flies. This was a very natural platinum to go after, which I'm always going to be a fan of, and is something that is a theme for this video. Coming in at number 6 is a game I think gets a lot of people into going for platinum trophies, whether it be for the first time or again. I mean, it reignited my interest in it after all and led me to a point where I made my whole channel about it, and that game is Marvel's Spider-Man. I've grown up with Spider-Man since I can remember, through the movies, the TV series, and the games, but for whatever reason, I didn't play Insomniac's Spider-Man until a year ago, and it blew my damn mind. The story was incredible, the combat felt zippy, the web swinging was mesmerizing, and it was just one of those games I didn't want the experience to end, which was why I felt so compelled to grab the platinum. I tried to pinpoint why exactly Spider-Man's platinum reignited this interest in platinum trophies or achievements that was mostly long lost at this point, and really I think what Spider-Man did so well was most of the extra requirements felt worthwhile to go out and do. There are definitely grindy elements or lesser parts like the crimes, which for me do knock this one back a little bit because it does start to feel like work, but outside of that, the platinum is a phenomenal experience that I recommend everyone go out and get. Cannot wait for Spider-Man 2. Here we are, it's time for my top 5 now, and at number 5 is actually a game I didn't expect to love as much as I did, Deathloop. As I said in the video, I'm a big fan of Arkane's games, but when I initially played Deathloop at release, I really didn't like the game. I pretty quickly put the game down and sort of let it be that. The game just wasn't for me. So when the wheel picked the game for me, I thought this would be a drag of an experience, and it was anything but. It didn't take long for Deathloop to grab me by the balls and not let me go until the platinum was mine. The story was captivating. The gameplay loop has that classic Arkane freedom to a pretty solid extent. You know, it's not unlimited possibilities, but individually the levels are filled with potential. The game itself is fantastic, and the platinum, in my opinion, only makes the game better, encouraging you to experiment, tackling difficult parameters for success, unique challenges. It all keeps the game fresh, which is impressive given, well, it's a loop that could easily get repetitive. One of the true surprises in my platinum journey so far, and one of my absolute favorite experiences, full stop. Number 4 is where I think most of these games are pretty neck and neck. Right now, these games I don't see falling out of the tippity top of my favorites anytime soon, and most outside of number 1 can be interchanged. But at number 4, we have BioShock. BioShock is one of my favorite games ever made. I have talked about this at length at this point, again with 2 videos on the subject. You know why BioShock is a fantastic video game. But what made the Platinum journey so special is it makes you experience all the game has to offer. Things like finding all the audio diaries, for example, being a collectible trophy, which isn't usually my favorite, but it makes you fully explore Rapture in all its destructive glory and fully immerses you in this world. The challenge of beating the game on the hardest difficulty without dying, while trivialized by a New Game Plus playthrough, makes fully researching every enemy, going off the beaten path, and saving or harvesting all the little sisters so important. I mean, it was such an easy platinum to want to go out and achieve. Outside of the lucky winner trophy that had me staring at a slot machine for almost an hour, it really just flew by. And as someone who has played BioShock too many times to count at this point, I think that most recent playthrough was up there with the first time I ever played the game. It was that special. At number 3, we have one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and a platinum that really started 2023 on the perfect foot, and that is Mass Effect. Mass Effect's yet another platinum that just encourages the player to see as much of this game as possible, and what an experience that is. The wealth of combat related trophies forcing the player to make sure you really learn what abilities work best on what enemies. The trophies relating to exploring uncharted planets or completing a still vague majority of the game. It's things like this that, when put on top of the optional, but what I would recommend, Insanity playthrough, that just had me fully absorbed in this universe once again. I want to be encouraged to immerse myself in these games and do everything I can with added incentive. And when that ties into an all-time favorite game, of course that's going to rocket it right up there near the top, the same for the remaining 2 games. Coming in at number 2 is a game that I'm sure comes as no surprise to anyone who sees my thumbnails, but as a massive fan of this IP, this game was simply perfect in my eyes, and that is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Unlike many games on the list so far, I haven't talked about Shadow of Mordor at all yet, which needs to change in the near future. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor is a phenomenal experience. Yes, it follows that arcane combat archetype mixed in with some Assassin's Creed. I don't care. I swear people think you need to reinvent the wheel with every single game. If it works and it's fun, then it's good. Simple as that. The story for the game is captivating, the world of Mordor is grim and dark just as it should be, the Nemesis system is phenomenal and makes the gameplay as a whole a lot of fun to play. I'd love to go into detail on the platinum itself, but this one I honestly don't remember all that much because I wasn't trying to go for the trophies at the time. I was fully exploring, trying new things, doing all the things that just so happened to have trophies, and hence why I didn't platinum the game for 2 years, because I didn't even pay attention to how close I was to the platinum until a long time after. So for me, this feels like another pretty natural platinum to go for, but again, I was obsessed with this game, and as a big fan of this world, it just came mostly from playing the game how I wanted to play. Before we get to my favorite platinum trophy so far, I do have to give some honorable mentions to experiences that just missed out on my top 10. So I want to give a nod to Sleeping Dogs, South Park: The Stick of Truth, God of War Ragnarok, Control, Maneater, and a game I don't have the platinum for but do have all achievements for on Xbox, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. These are all phenomenal games that I do highly recommend you check out for yourself, all with some very achievable platinum trophies no matter your skill level. And for some of you, these games may even be in your top 10, and I don't blame you. But at number 1, I mean, this is a lock for me, and I seriously don't see another game topping it. This game is not only one of my favorite games ever made, but easily my favorite platinum experience to date, and easily the most highly suggested game for me to cover on the channel. That game is Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is a game I have talked about at great length, so if you want in-depth thoughts, there's an hour-long video going into all that good stuff. There's a reason why this game is so highly suggested for me to platinum, because it's not difficult, which is usually some people's favorite suggestions, but it's just an incredible experience. As I've gone over, the strength of Tsushima's platinum is it feels natural whilst encouraging you to fully envelop yourself in this world, which isn't a hard ask when the game is phenomenal and you don't want it to ever end while playing. This game seriously is in like my top 2 or 3 games of all time. It's an incredible video game, but the platinum doesn't detract from the experience. It makes it better. And like many games on this list, makes you want to experience everything this game has to offer, from side stories, exploring every inch of the island, all the way to finding all these adorable foxes. It's an experience I think is a must platinum. And with all that being said, that's my platinum collection and my top 10 favorites all in one. Hopefully that sort of gives you all an idea about the experiences I enjoy, not just trophy but game wise, and the type of platinum experience I personally enjoy the most. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Please make sure if you did enjoy the video to leave it a like because it helps let me know that you enjoyed yourself. Comment below your own top 10 favorite platinums. I'm curious what games I need to play ASAP. Thank you to all my channel members for that extra level of support. I truly do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Go give my socials a follow if you fancy at MayorHairBear. Join the Discord server to have a chat. Don't forget to check out Atlas VPN's insane deal before it's too late, and I'll catch you all in the next video.